What you know? What's a nacho?
Nacho is chips. It comes with cheese and
No,
salsa.
a nacho is when you see a fine man that belongs to somebody else that's something that's not yours. Ella, spread them.
I did.
Drop it like it's hot.
Yeah, I don't want to drop it down in front of all these people in here all the time. I guess they come here.
Inside Tyler Perry's Atlanta studio, a mogul's life of vision and philanthropy. Night settles over Atlanta, and a former army post glows like a city within the city. Soundstage doors stand 2 stories tall, numbers stenciled in white over battleship gray steel. A backlot cul-de-sac sleeps beside a replica urban street. A southern chapel faces a lake as if Sunday service never ended. Somewhere, lights burn in a writer's room. Somewhere else, carpenters set a kitchen that will feel lived in by morning. This is Tyler Perry Studios, a 330-acre blueprint for creative control built on reclaimed ground. Once a base, now a beacon. The myth is luck. The truth is land, ownership, and an unbroken line of work. But that is only the first gate. Walk the boulevard. The names on the sound stages tell you the rest. Early life and beginnings. Emmett Perry Jr. was born in New Orleans in 1969. The house was loud, the childhood hard, the escape route narrow. He changed his name to Tyler in his early 20s, but before that, he found a small practice that opened a door. Writing letters to himself, a therapy suggested by a daytime host he watched religiously. Those pages became scenes. The scenes turned into a play, and the play, at first, failed. He slept in his car, saved, staged the play again and again until a faithful audience found him. A character named Mabel Medea Simmons, loud, loving, corrective, stepped onto the stage and refused to leave. Church basements turned into theater runs turned into bus tours that sold out across the South. He rehearsed the future on the road, learning box office math, audience cadence, and what it meant to be his own distributor. The lesson wasn't glamour, it was leverage, rise to fame and a different model. Hollywood knocked, but he didn't hand over the keys. He brought the audiences he'd earned into film and television, translating stage loyalty into opening weekend certainty. Early features proved there was scale in stories the gatekeepers claimed were too niche. Sitcoms such as House of Pain and Meet the Browns established an assembly line precision. Write fast, shoot faster, deliver on time. The critics argued, the ratings answered. He structured deals to protect what mattered. Creative control, speed, and participation in the upside. Distribution partners changed over the years. The blueprint didn't. He wrote, he produced, he directed, he acted. He kept the trucks rolling. The land that changes the conversation. In the mid-2000s, he purchased most of Fort McPherson, a decommissioned U.S. Army base on Atlanta's south side. The symbolism is not subtle. Acres once held by a government garrison now anchor one of the largest film studios in the country, wholly owned by a black creator. The campus opened in phases and formally debuted with a star-studded gala. What mattered more than the step and repeat was the map. A dozen-plus sound stages line wide boulevards, named for giants whose work made his possible. The names function as both roll call and reminder. A full-scale White House set crowns one corner, complete with an Oval Office whose sightlines read like news footage. Backlot neighborhoods cover a spectrum: suburban cul-de-sacs, small-town Main Street, city blocks, a chapel, a jail, a hospital, a modern airport terminal, a 1950s diner, a lake with a boathouse. You can film a life cycle without leaving the fence line. Departments run like an ecosystem: mill shop, paint, costumes, props, grip and electric, editorial, scoring, casting, transportation. The lot is a town where the currency is time saved. The result is velocity. Scripts written on Friday can be building sets by Tuesday, cameras up by Wednesday. It's not just convenience, it's a philosophy. Control the variables, compress the time, keep ownership. Inside the machine, process and discipline. The day starts early. He writes alone, longhand, or at a keyboard. dialogue paced for actors who know his rhythms. Table reads are practical, fittings precise, call sheets relentless. He's been criticized for pace, he's been praised for output. Both are symptoms of the same engine. On a good week, multiple episodes are blocked, shot, and moving into post while the next scripts get locked. On a good month, a feature slides between two series like a new gear in a familiar transmission. The campus doubles as a teaching hospital for below-the-line careers. Interns shadow department heads. Apprentices learn how to rig lights, sew hems, dress sets.
What the? Who are you?
Who you?
I'm the owner of this house.
Wrong answer. My granddaughter Helen is the owner of this house.
Wrangle background, schedule days. Atlanta's crew base expands with every production. Paychecks ripple through neighborhoods whose drive time to the front gate is measured in single digits. Beyond the gates, homes and habits. He keeps his private residences private, but the patterns are clear. Work near the lot, refuge away from the grid. A home that can absorb family and friends. Kitchens built for Thanksgiving logistics. A lawn that invites quiet. The cars are functional more than flashy. SUVs that can carry scripts and suits, not trophies. The most valuable asset on any given day is the calendar block no one can buy. Hours where pages get made. Business architecture and ownership. The Mogul playbook is simple to say and hard to execute. Own the IP, own the pipeline, own the lot. He licenses widely, cable, streaming, syndication, while keeping a tight grip on production. Partnerships with networks and platforms have come with volume commitments. He hits those volumes by stacking and staggering shows. A single writer's room can feed multiple titles. A single standing set can play as 3 locations with a change of dressing and light. He builds for reuse. Courtroom dramas can drop into the same set with new angles. A living room gets redressed for a new family. A hospital corridor works from any direction. Efficiency isn't aesthetic, it's a value system. Profit funds expansion. Expansion compounds control. Philanthropy and community. The studio's address sits on Atlanta soil, and his giving reflects that. He has covered layaway balances for families during the holidays, paid for seniors' groceries during the pandemic, and quietly funded rent and funeral costs for strangers whose names never make a headline. When storms hit or injustice rocks the city, checks move first, statements second, or not at all. He's endowed scholarships, sustained nonprofits that keep lights on in shelters, and backed organizations that train young people for film careers so the next hiring call can be local. On campus, he has hosted charity galas and community days, opening the gates so students can walk a backlot and imagine themselves in the credits. Across town, he has stood up for people mid-crisis, sometimes with a statement, often with a bank transfer. The gestures read large because need is large. The through line is dignity, personal life and boundaries. He is both everywhere and nowhere, on billboards, then missing from parties, on set, then offline. Fatherhood recalibrated the schedule. School events circled on calendars that usually belong to production managers. He keeps his son out of the lens, a boundary that reads as policy, not mood. Faith remains a current, not a brand. The work asks for it, the characters argue with it, the arcs bend toward it. Recent chapters and cultural reach. The slate stays full. Dramas that run year-round. Comedies that reset every week. Films that arrive with clockwork regularity. He has placed bets on streamers and kept feet in cable at the same time, prizing reach over allegiance. He experiments with tone inside a familiar frame, courtroom to caper, family saga to thriller. When strikes and technological shifts rattle the industry, the lot keeps absorbing productions from elsewhere because it's built to shoot now. That steadiness doubles as leverage. Leverage doubles as insurance. Public perception has shifted from Tyler Perry, Medea, to Tyler Perry, institution. The dress, the wig, the pistol in a purse. Those were a vehicle, not a destination. The destination is the address on the gate, symbolism and legacy. Consider the ground, a Confederate-adjacent past, a federal present, and now a Black-owned creative city that exports stories worldwide. The stages named for elders reclaim the narrative in steel and concrete. People who once had to ask for permission now drive through a guardhouse with their own badge. The Backlot chapel rings without bells. The Oval Office set affirms that representation can be literal. Legacy here is not an end-of-career reel. It's a living utility, thousands of jobs, a training pipeline, an asset that will outlast any single show. He's already proven that one artist can own the means of production at scale. The next proof will be what he seeds, mentorships that turn into studios with different names but the same posture of ownership and service. Return to the boulevard at night. The stages hum softly. A golf cart whispers past, taillight red as a metronome. In a bungalow office, pages print. In the mill, sawdust hangs like confetti that forgot to fall. The dream was never a single character or even a single show. It was a place where stories could be made on terms that honor the people making them, and a life where success funds the obligation to lift others. He built a studio where vision powers the machine and the machine powers a community. The philanthropy isn't separate from the business. It's the point. If this walk through the gates showed you how land, leverage, and giving shape a legacy, stay curious and tell us which studio, deal, or turning point you want open next. The lot is big. There's always another door.